Okay, guys, so welcome to our show. Here today we are going to speak about Batman Delivers and BlitzGro and the person who connects both of them, right? So, Batman Delivers, I remember, was a food and a grocery delivery startup. They started in 2013, if I'm right, and it specialized in late night deliveries, right? So anything you need anything after 7 p.m. and before 5 a.m., you have Batman Delivers for you. All you've got to do is just call on their number, and then the delivery will come to your doorstep. Right now, typically it was foods like rolls, momos, biryanis, and essentials like cigarettes and contraceptives, right? And that was the talk of the town, right? So the word quickly spread, and I remember that Batman really was the buzz going around. And then later came BlitzGro. Now, while BlitzGro may not have a direct engagement with the food deliveries and food groceries, but I'll tell you where it comes in. So BlitzGro helps a lot of food and grocery startups in India optimize their operations and grow, right? They specialize in market penetration, demand generation, strategic procurement, right? So that's where they are really good, right? And they help a lot of QSRs, cafes, diners, and also international food startups that are looking at setting up shops in India, right? So that's what BlitzGro does. Now, how are these two connected? So we have the co-founder of Batman Delivers and the founder of BlitzGro, Shakti Swami, with us. Shakti is a seasoned entrepreneur, and as I told you, he's known for both Batman Delivers and BlitzGro. Right, he has over 15 years of experience with the food delivery and the cloud kitchen space. We are very happy to have him with us today. And Shakti, a very warm welcome to you on Founders Forum on Techmasters.
Thank you, Nitish. Thank you. It's a pleasure. And I've been looking forward to it for a while. Since we connected, I've been looking forward to it. And yeah, thank you to all the viewers also. Thank you to all your viewers for having me here.
You're welcome, Shakti. So Shakti, we've broken down this session into a couple of sections, and we are starting with the first one, which is about your professional journey, right? So talk to us through the founding of Batman Delivers. What is the idea that inspired you, right? And what is the need? What is the need that you were the solution that you are providing to the people?
Batman Delivers. Batman Delivers has a very interesting story. During the college days, me and my co-founder, right? I won't be taking his name due to some reasons. Yeah, I'll tell you later. So me and my co-founder, we had a college presentation where we did a presentation on, this was way back in 2007-8. We did a presentation on, delivering food based on internet. Like we could use internet to get foods and groceries delivered. It was a normal college project. We did it and we were like, this could be a great idea. And then after college, we got placed and I was working with SBI. He got into his own role. And then and it was put on back shelf. We did not have anything in mind about it. It was just a college project that we were doing. Then in 2013, if you remember, Nirkaya thing happened. Then
Correct.
So that, we were discussing it and it brought back the idea, if we could have a service where girls don't need to go out and from safety of their homes, they could order things at night. And things can be delivered to their doorsteps. It would be very useful for them. And, this is a target segment, like working women in Gurgaon, this is a great target segment. So that's how the thought came and that's how we started. So we started it around, I think, December 2013 or something like that. Batman Delivers. So initially we set up our own kitchen, cloud kitchen. Right? Because there was no operations in Gurgaon after 12 o'clock. There was nothing in Gurgaon that was delivering. You had to go out. Right? So we started our kitchen, basic kitchen, one small cloud kitchen, a person with a telephone. And on the first day itself, we got like 13, 14 orders. So we had gone distributing flyers near on Golf Road and to other campuses. And on first day itself, we got 14, 15 orders and we ran out of capacity because we had prepared. We were thinking, we probably get 7, 8 orders. So on the first day itself, we were out of capacity and I think around 13th or 14th order, there was a person who called us and he was like, कुछ भी दे दो यार, भूख लग रही है, कुछ तो deliver करना.
Okay.
And our chef was like, sir, मैं क्या करूँ? मैं पराठे बना के बेच देता हूँ आलू के इस टाइम तो. And that person was like, हाँ हाँ आलू के पराठे भी कुछ तो भेज दो please मेरे लिए इस टाइम भूख लगी है. And we realized, okay, maybe the gap is bigger than we had anticipated.
Correct.
So
Correct.
we had to upgrade our call center itself. The first day there was 15 calls, and then within a month we had 4 people call center, and we had to expand our kitchen. So yeah, it was a very rapid scale up. Until that time, Zomato was also not into delivery. So we had our own delivery, our own writer, and what we were doing at that time was it was asset based. We had our own bikes, we had our own, fuel, bikers, and everything, and they were on our payroll. So that's how the journey started, and it grew really fast by grace of God. And so I think around second year, we already had 3 cloud kitchens in Gurgaon. And we realized, it's not just the food. People also require essentials, cigarettes, contraceptives, women health care. So we started and since we had our own warehousing, we started stocking all those things, the demand. Then we developed our own app, ordering app. Initially, it was website. Website also did not have this thing. Payment systems were not there. Like you can make online payments. Not everybody had a credit card, so we had to think of how to get the money, collection steps, and all those things. It was fascinating time. So yeah, and then we have to get into developing our own kitchen ordering system. We call it POTs now in restaurant industry. That's kitchen order ticketing. So how order is going to flow from call center to kitchen to delivery rider. So we have to work on all those systems. So now Pet Puja is doing it. It's a big startup now in Excel. So we had to get that developed. We had to develop our own website, how ordering would take place, how it flows to rider, tracking of riders. We developed our own app. So yeah, interesting phase.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. In fact, we've seen so many good businesses, good ideas turn into businesses, but not fly out for some reason or the other. The good thing with you was that you were saying that you started, and before you knew, you had already taken off.
Yes. So with us, the problem it was kind of other problem.
Correct.
We got into a lot of things, and all of those were successful, and we just couldn't get a proper, good enough team. So if somebody asks me why didn't it grow? Because we had too many things going for us, and we just weren't able to get enough good people. And yeah, we were able to raise funds as well. So, one of the few early startups that was able to raise funds. Yeah.
Actually, if the VCs or the the funders, when they see a business coming in, they have no difficulties in investing. In fact, if I were to draw a corporate parlance, so all my life I've been in B2B businesses, right? So and I've also been in sales. I've been in HR as well, right? So we were discussing a peculiar situation one day. A couple of us sitting with our business head, right, and all of us were reporting to the business head, of course. And he said, "Listen, guys, having material to sell and no order is a worse problem to have than having a lot of POs and no material to sell. तुम PO लेकर आओ, मैं देखूंगा supply chain कहाँ से fix करना है. You just get POs, right? So I think you started thinking that maybe you'll get a trickle down of demand, but the demand continued to be heavy, right? So Shakti, that brings me to the second thing. In 2018 is when I moved from Chandigarh to Gurgaon, and when I moved to Gurgaon, I'd heard this name. Batman was like a buzz. So people would say, "Koi nahi yaar, Batman hai na." Right. So what I wanted to ask you is that what did it take to win such a confidence from your consumers?
So one of the things, we were like on time prompt delivery. Since we were doing our own deliveries, it was not like if you place an order, somebody else is going to take the order. We had our own dark kitchen and our own warehousing to support that order. So once you place the order, you were pretty certain the order is going to get delivered. And second thing that we were focusing on in our dark kitchen was anything made in our kitchen should be consumable at our home. Like if it's not in our kitchen, it's not going in dark kitchen either. So, spices. Since we were not from food background, I was from finance background. Same was with my partner. So what we did was, at that now there are a lot of alternatives we can think of, but that time we stuck with major food brands like spices. We are only going to go with MDH. So this is something we use that it's got to be rice, it's got to be dawat ka rice, so that we use it at our home. So that's where if certain thing is getting delivered, people knew कि Batman से आ रहा है तो ठीक ही होगा. Although
Correct.
Yeah, it was a little expensive premium on that side, and that's one of our misses where we were not able to communicate the value that we were at. Because by 2018, a lot of kitchens and dark kitchens had come and delivering, and their average order value was a lot lower than what we were doing. But
what was the average order value of Batman delivers?
I think it was AOV was around 800 for 2 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of the food supply apps, still have not hit that number, right? I mean, they hover around 150, 200. That's where they are.
Yeah.
So you were really the first one to latch on to the premium customers in Shakti?
I think, because we were the first mover, the people who were going on to online ordering and ordering things were people who were tech aware, tech savvy, were into this segment, earning decently. I think they were the first customers to come on. And we were able to build a really good online presence and awareness. And I think it was one of our problems as well. So I think around 2017, one of Batman movie released, and we were doing a lot of online promotions for Batman delivers.
Okay.
And when people were searching for Batman, our ad was popping up alongside Batman. And in list, we were showing it number 2 or 3 when people were searching for Batman deliver. So we got a notice on Warner Brothers, legal notice on Warner.
So I was going to ask you, but now that you are here, so why don't you tell us? There's an old saying. It's not a very good saying, but there's an old saying that all good things must come to an end. So what happened with Batman Delivers? So why don't you share that with us?
Yeah. So this is what actually happened. So when we started, it wasn't like we wanted to use the trade name or their identity. It was just that a fan moment and, do better than Batman deliver food at night. It was kind of fan moment, and we were not from business background, not business savvy. So we used the name, and we got our company registered. So we were like, since the company has been registered, so we were comfortable. Okay, now this is going to work. We got Batman Hospitality Limited. It was a registered company. And then we started promoting it on Facebook, Instagram. We were doing good. We got in money. So again, we were putting a lot of money in Facebook. We were one of the few startups that was invited by Google in its Google AdWords days to come understand Google AdWords. And they wanted to understand what our point of view was towards AdWords and AdSense. So we were invited to Google office, and they were telling us how to promote. So yeah, we were getting good traction. So then one fine day, a big mark comes cloud kitchen. And we were like, maybe another investor because we were seeking investors. We were quite happy, and then we realized they were like lawyers from Warner Brothers. They had flown down all the way from Mumbai, and they handed us legal notice. You are infringing our copyright. So, yeah, we tried to convince them. We negotiated with them for almost a year. Please let us use the name, let us use the identity. We invested so much money in it. All our resources have gone into developing this brand. But then they were adamant, and we finally had to change our name to Bets on Delivery. And we also had to change our logo. And that was a really big process. Difficult process of changing the logo, because there are only certain ways you can draw a bet. Right? There are not many ways in which you can, and they have like a lot of bets registered as trademark, which whether they are using it or not using it, but they have like over the last century, they have copyrighted a lot of bet designs. So we get a design approved and everything. But then thing about online, online store, online identity, since we were only online brand, is once you lose your name, your brand identity gets diluted. Like everybody remembers Batman delivers.
Correct.
Nobody talks about bets on delivery, right? Because
Correct.
that's what we were after Batman. So once
Correct.
your identity, your business starts. So that impacted us in a big way. And there were a couple of other changes as well. So when we started, Zomato was not there. We had a set heavy model. Like if we had around 75 riders delivery, and we owned about 75 bikes. So few bike owners, there was for pilferage, maintenance, bike. And we were paying salaries. They were not contractual employees. We were giving food. That. So what happens is, see, if I'm giving you a salary of 10,000, but I own the bike and fuel, it would be equal to you getting 20,000 per month, having your own bike and using your fuel. But the mindset is, I'm getting 20,000 over there and 10,000 over here. Right? So that also impacted us. Riders were like, हमें वहाँ तो इतना मिलता है per kilometer delivery का. So it became kind of difficult for us to get the riders. And model was very asset heavy. Like to scale up, like we had scaled up to 5 kitchens, 5 delivery kitchens. But for every delivery kitchen, like every rider added, we had to spend like 50,000-60,000 to get a bike. So scaling up was difficult. And secondly, it gave other restaurants. I would say that Zomato was a good thing. It has helped other restaurants. Now what they can do is just go online and start delivering. So you are delivering till 11. Now if you want to deliver to 2, all you need to do is stay open till 2.
Correct.
Right? That's all you need to do. We had to build our website. We had to get riders on board, everything. So when we were doing it, even McDonald's was not delivering beyond 2 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Sorry. So once we started delivering, and then McDonald's changed to 2 o'clock delivery, came up till 2 o'clock delivery. So yeah. So for us, a couple of things that didn't work in our favor was not having a daytime day. Like we didn't. So now what restaurants can do is like they have a proper dining restaurant, or they deliver during the day, and cost gets like 24 hours operation, make it easy for you. You can subsidize, you have riders and kitchens and all those things working during the day as well. All you need to do is probably get certain more employees and it works. We did not have a daytime. We were only operating during the night. So, we were just concentrated in a block of 4 hours, I would say. From, let's say, till 12 o'clock, a lot of options were there. So, let's say a business started at around 11:30. And by 3:30 was the peak. After that, it slowed down. So, even if you are getting, say, 15 orders in a period of 1 hour, you have to have 15 riders.
Yeah, correct.
Or at least 10 riders. Right? To have deliver 15 orders, you need to have 10 riders at minimum.
Correct.
In a period of 1 hour. So, and we had all riders on our board. So this was the diversification which we were thinking of, but then we were not able to do it. We just, were not able to concretize it, to have a store in day front, and to move from asset heavy model to asset light model. We had invested so much in building our own capabilities. So initially there was a reluctance on our part that we have built our identity. People are coming on our website. Why should we go to Zomato for orders? Why should we use their app for orders? We had invested like good 30-40 lakhs in developing our own app. Yeah.
So I think my sense is, then Shakti, you can correct me. Changing the asset model would not have been as difficult as fighting with the Warner Brothers, right?
Obviously, fighting with Warner Brothers, we did not go into legal process, but just convincing them, trying to convince them, and that pressure of having to change our name and all those things were a lot bigger issues, because then investors were reluctant. We got first round of funding and next round of investors were not ready because they were not sure what's going to happen. Right? Asset model is a small thing, right?
Correct.
100 bikes is like probably 50 lakhs worth of asset. Not a huge detriment.
Correct.
But that thing was a big dampener when we had to change our identity.
Oh, and Batman Delivers has a very nice ring to it, which backs on the person. Batman Delivers is phenomenal. In fact, we only wish and hope that at that time, if Warner Brothers had shown a bigger heart, we would still have Batman Delivers around. That's what we can only hope now. Great. So let's come to BlitzGro now, Shakti. Right. So what motivated you to come up with BlitzGro, and how did your previous venture, shape your thought process around BlitzGro?
Okay, so BlitzGro happened after, BlitzGro is not my direct venture after the Batman Delivery. I worked with Zomato in between. So what I realized over there, Zomato I was with Hyperpure. What I realized over there was a gap between, there were a lot of manufacturers who wanted to reach out to restaurants and other players like Horeca players, large Horeca players, but they did not know the way to reach out to them. Right? A new manufacturer comes and he has developed a product, but he does not have know-how how to reach to the client, or a new manufacturer has willingness to customize this product. He has financials, he's willing to customize his product, but he does not have understanding from client side, how clients function, what is it that they want, what are kind of modifications with product they would want, or what are the kind of products that are happening in the market that right now. So that's where BlitzGro come in. We connect suppliers or manufacturers and these restaurants, and we help them, find the correct product mix over there. So we work both ways. So either a restaurant, if it's looking for something very specific to be done, which it requires to be done for it, we figure out a solution and provide them the solution. This is how
got it.
Or if there's a manufacturer who has a product and he wants to reach out to a certain client base, we help them not only reaching out to the client base, but we also at times help them deciding what their correct client base should be, who should be they reaching out to, and how we are different from a normal consultancy, I would say, is at BlitzGro, we are not just giving you the know-how, we help you with the execution process. So when I tell you this is the client base you need to reach, I just don't tell you this is what you need to do. We'll do it for you. We get on board with you. So we also act as an extended supply chain, extended sales team for them. Right?
Got it. So you're not just a marketplace between the supplier and the user of the supply. You actually provide a lot of value-added services in between, right?
Yeah. We are not a marketplace at all. So we are very selective in who we work with, because even when I go out to a restaurant and say, this is the product that you need to use or you can try, I need to be very sure who the supplier is. So we are not just working with any supplier because it's a credibility on that.
Correct.
We are very selective about, we go into the product, understand the product, what the product is, who's going to, use it, and then reach out to proper restaurant and then suggest what could be done. And it's not direct selling, and then customize it a lot of, not just in terms of technical product, product, a lot of it is structured around financials, credit, delivery modules, when the deliveries are going to happen. Because all large restaurant chains, they require a lot of customization and, this confidence that what they are getting is the product they had asked for. Because a lot of malpractices, a lot of fighting is happening in the market. So we kind of give them assurance on that basis. We ensure that they can probably visit their supplier's premises, see what the supplier is doing, how they are doing it, whether it meets their standard, it works according to their standard. And then we don't actually currently work on commission model. We are primarily working on retainership model. So
Okay.
it doesn't. The sales is not a conflict as such. That we need to sell it or you need to buy it. That's not the driver.
Correct.
We work on a very, very small retainership. What it also does is, so if I have a salesperson, right, in my team, a person, you can call him a consultant, salesperson, whatever. Person. We understand the product. We sit with the supplier. We understand their product. We go and pitch it, right? But the same person, because now we are working with 4 different suppliers and we don't work with multiple suppliers in the same category, right? So that there is no conflict of interest. Say if I am supplying fruits and vegetables or juices from one supplier, we would not be working with multiple juices, vegetable suppliers. So now if I go and pick juices and vegetables, I can also probably work with them on their RTE, RTC product. Right? So I have another supplier for their ready to eat, ready to serve product. I have a supplier of fruits and juices. Now this cost gets divided between these. Our cost gets divided because we are charging a very small portion of actual salaries being paid. So they get very good quality salespeople, which they might not be able to afford on their roles directly. Because of high cost. But since it's subsidized or broken down into 4 people or 3 people, depending on the project, 5 people, so the cost becomes low and they get access to better people who can work in coordination with the client.
Correct. They have access to much better talent than they can afford themselves.
They individually can do. So this is one thing we are doing, and we are also doing pure consultancy projects. So we are currently also working with ONDC. Developing. So ONDC is doing good in terms of their B2C product, but they are developing their B2B segment in Horeca. We are working with them in their Horeca segment, helping them develop that. So that's pure consultancy project. So we are telling them, suggesting them how they can develop it, how they can take it further, what are the prerequisites. So we are doing both the kind of things. We are working in sales model, we are doing pure consultancy, and we are also doing something called what we have called so long tail procurements or edge procurements, what we call.
Okay.
What we are doing over here is, there is a chain of restaurants that spread throughout India. Getting suppliers in tier 1 or tier 2 cities is not an issue for them. Everybody is there in tier 1 city. But they have a chain in tier 2 or remote location or tier 3 city where it's difficult for them to get their supplies. So we are helping them in those edge locations to get supplies, where we either do it ourselves, we have another arm called supplies, where we do it ourselves, suppliers, or we tie up with a local vendor on quality, on pricing and everything. So what they get is, they get a thing, they don't have to search for it. They'll give us the list. These are my requirements in that locality. We go and make the purchases for them. We do all the things, scouting for proper vendor of different things. There would be grocery, there would be fresh dairy and all those things. Kacha bill aata hai, makka bill aata hai, lots of things.
Correct.
So we sort it out for them. They get one proper GST invoice bill. They don't have to worry about 30 vendors, looking for 30 vendors in those remote locations. They get one from the GST invoices. So that edge procurement also.
Got it. That must be very consuming, Shakti, because handling in tier 3 cities is very, very tough. I know. I mean, I work with some businesses that are into distribution, and I know it's very tough.
Yes, it is. It is. But since we are working, so it's not a core business. This is not we do something. We don't go and pitch it. But if one of our clients requests it, can you help us with it? We are like, okay, we'll help you do that. So it's like, since you are there with BlitzGro and we are there to solve your problems, and if you request, if you're facing a problem of this kind, we'll help you with it. So it's something that you go and actively pitch, because it's very, as you said, it's a very difficult model to operate.
Yeah, it is. Very, very, very consuming. So
Yes,
that
right.
that brings us to the last question of the first section, Shakti, and we want to know how you've evolved as an entrepreneur between Batman Delivers and BlitzGro, and also what are the mindset shifts that have helped you on the way, right? Because these are two very different businesses, right? And I mean, it was unfortunate that you had to kind of face the music from Batman, right? Warner Brothers. I mean, not Batman, Warner Brothers. But so, what are the
Correct.
mindset shift that helped you? It's very difficult to come back again, no?
Yeah. So, see, when we started Batman, it was a passion project.
Correct.
I was not a businessman or an entrepreneur when I started it, if you understand what I mean.
Hmm.
Right? So, business understanding that we had at that time, the way we were operating, has all gone through a major change. I understand business a lot better. As I said, Batman, when we started Batman, we were not some food better. We saw a gap and we tried to fill it, right?
Hmm.
But the understanding of food, what can be done with it, the possibility within the food industry
Hmm.
itself,
Hmm.
the cost reduction part that we were not able to do at Batman while maintaining the quality,
Hmm.
a lot of things, financial, all of these have developed. And that's where, from being a student to, I won't call myself a mentor. I still am a student, but somebody who's in a position to help others. Let's say.
Sure. Sure.
So, yeah, from being there to, so now I have a background of what are the challenges a restaurant can face, a startup faces in
Hmm.
terms of their procurement. I see kitchen operations, how they can go ori at times. What are the challenges you face as a person who's running a kitchen? You can go out of
Hmm.
stock, all those things.
Hmm.
We bridge that gap. Now with that understanding, we are better able to bridge the gap between manufacturer and the customer. Right? We
Hmm.
are able to share that understanding with them. And I'll
Hmm.
just share because I know it deeply. So, even while interacting, I keep it in mind. These are the things. And also having worked with other players in industry, I understand how delivery setup works, warehousing. We were doing our warehousing at a very small scale,
Hmm.
but large scale warehousing, how do they work? What are the challenges
Hmm.
in warehousing?
Hmm.
Problems from manufacturer's point of view, what are all those things.
Correct.
Yeah, I've evolved and emotionally also. It's not just, in terms of know-how. You sometimes, as a young entrepreneur, a young person, you invest yourself too much emotionally in your
Hmm.
business and you take
Hmm.
failures and successes personally.
Hmm.
Slowly over time, you need to learn to differentiate between them. It's, sometimes it's just a business failure, it's not a personal failure. I've learned to, the most important thing I would say is I've learned to prioritize my mental health, and that's a
Hmm.
very, very important. So
Hmm.
I have been through a bad phase.
Sure.
I had to take a break for 1 year and a half.
I
I
know.
was on antidepressants and medication. So I tell
Hmm.
this to everyone, you have to prioritize your mental health. You should not let your mental health go for anything.
Hmm.
Not let things disturb you. I understand it's easier said than done, but still mental health is the most important thing.
Hmm.
Because what happens is people keep hearing all these stories about successful startups. That's all
Hmm.
you get to hear.
Hmm.
And people start, imagining this is where we are going to land up or this is what's going to happen. But
Hmm.
then there are like if for every you are an entrepreneur, so, for 5 successful startups, there are 95 non-successful startups.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Nobody hears about those stories and struggle.
Hmm.
So effort those people have put in.
Hmm.
Everybody hears stories about successful people and the effort they have put in. Nobody hears stories about startups that have failed for the effort they have put in.
Hmm.
So I think people need to understand, young kids, that so you put in your effort and hopefully you will succeed. That,
Hmm.
but then you should be ready for failure and not take it as a personal failure.
Hmm.
Get back up if you fail.
Correct. No, in fact, let me share two very important anecdotes, which are very suitable in this background from two legendary investors. One is the late Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, and the second is Warren Buffett, right? So, in one of his interviews, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala mentioned this. He said, "You guys know me for my successes. You guys know me for Titan, right? I invested in Titan at the right time, and my investments geometrically multiplied, right? They grew geometrically, not arithmetically." He said, "But you don't know for my failures. I mean, there's so many failures that have gone in the background, which have helped me learn and apply them to my successes, right?" And likewise, Warren Buffett apparently shared this somewhere, Shakti, that of the 400 odd decisions that he's taken so far, okay, only 12 have helped him reach where he's reached.
Okay.
Right. So if a person like that has a hit rate like
Hello.
right, a lot that obviously we shouldn't give up, right? That's one of the things. Okay.
I would like to share another anecdote. I don't know if you have seen it or not. It's the Roger Federer video on YouTube.
Okay.
So, what do you think Roger Federer's overall percentage point would be, like in his entire life, if all the points are put together? How many points do you think Roger Federer would have got?
No idea.
It's 52% points.
How much?
52%. There's a video on him going, that's it, like the top, one of the best players ever wins 52% of his points, and 48% of points he loses. And he's considered one of the best players ever.
Correct.
Yeah. So we have to take losses with a pinch of salt and as a learning rather than losses and letting it impact. I think that's the most important.
Correct. So let's go on to the second section, Shakti. This is the insights on innovation and business strategy, right? So where we might even ask you to do a little bit of a stargazing for us. So let's begin with that, right? So what we are seeing is that the food delivery industry has undergone rapid changes, right? Rapid scaling up, rapid changes, and you've seen this both closely and you've also seen it from a distance, right? So what innovations do you believe are going to drive the next big shift in food tech?
So one of the things that's going to happen in food, and we are seeing it happen, is move towards RTE and RTC, ready to eat.
Can you explain that? Yeah, RTE and RTC. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So ready to eat and ready to cook. So what we look at it is as a D2C segment. Generally, people consider it RTC food as ready to cook food as, D2C. Customer gets it at home and they cook the food. And that's so a lot of shift is happening in B2B industries because for the purpose of standardization. See, if I have to make, and let's say dal. Now, what I do as a restaurant only comes into play after, basic dal, say basic boiling of dal. If quality of dal is same, would be same for everybody. Whether it's a Bukhara dal or a dal at one of good, decent outlet, say very good outlet, Daryaganj. So basic dal they are using would be same. What changes the dal is the way they finalize it, right? But a lot of effort goes into cooking that dal itself, the process of boiling. So because spaces are getting expensive, because procuring correct quality of dal, storing it, and all these things are very difficult and time consuming. You have to reach out to a vendor, ensure consistency of dal, then you have to get it to your restaurant, then you have to boil the dal, you have to, arrange for guests, and all those things. So if you get, say, boiled dal of your specification, and then you can do the finalization, right? So that's where value addition happens. Restaurants are adding value during finalization. They are not adding any value in boiling of dal, right? So restaurants are now seeking ways where they can, outsource this boiling part of dal. So what they get is a boiled dal, a retro pack, which they can keep for 6 months. All they need to do is open it because it's as good as fresh.
Okay.
You open it and you do the finalization. But the basic product that does not require your specialization, you do not put an effort. Similarly with cut vegetables. Getting vegetables, sorting them, cutting them, getting them to your sizes, you require a lot of manpower, lot of space, lot of time. But if you can get cut vegetables to your specification, fresh cut vegetables, the way you want them, you can start cooking directly. So if you can get that vegetable at 10 in the morning, you can start cooking it. Whereas in an earlier process, you have to go to market, not go to market, vendor sends you something, you sort it. There would be wastages, then you cut it. Filtrages there, losses are there, yield losses are there. So you are moving closer to RTC product category. People are shifting and trying to outsource as much of this basic ground, and they want to do only finalization and don't want to spend energy on things which don't add value to the restaurant per se. So a lot of this shift is happening. And we see a lot of shift also in terms of, I am a North Indian restaurant and I do not specialize in, say, sweets. I have sweets on my menu and I do not specialize in it. Or let's say I'm a North Indian restaurant, I do not specialize in dosa. But one of my customer wants, probably I can get a gulab jamun after. I do not specialize in it. I am anyways procuring it from outside. So if I can get standardized gulab jamun or a fudge, chocolate fudge, which is frozen. So now we have gotten into a stage where frozen food is as good as fresh food. You can eat that for 8 months and you open it, it's as good as fresh. I'm not going to name it, but one of major, premium industry player, specialized food, North Indian food. They have chain across India and they are like fairly premium. They have kitchen in Delhi and they are operating in Bombay. So what they do is they transfer frozen fruit from Delhi to Bombay. They just eat and regenerate. So all the cooking and preparation is done at Delhi. This also helps you standardize the food because you can have one central cook overlooking the food. You don't need to have cooks at 5 different locations. So it helps with standardization. Yeah, industry is moving towards that. And then, of course, we'll always have the fresh, organic, which was not there earlier. So health conscious people, organic segment, that's development. That will keep getting bigger. Because as people move towards frozen, organic itself becomes a specialty. So development of one would facilitate development of other side as well.
Shakti, I'm very happy. I'd asked you the question on food tech, and this is the tech that you spoke about, because normally when we say tech, everybody imagines the digital tech, right? So I'm very happy that you've spoken about this tech. And, again, to draw a parallel, I don't know whether it was Bajaj Auto or Hero Motors, but one of these two companies, right? And they said, look, guys, we manufacture engines. That is tech. I mean, it's not that only information tech is tech.
Exactly. So, development of food, how you are freezing it, how you are transporting it.
That's also tech.
That's also tech. So, a lot of effort apart from delivery, which is what people generally think of food tech, So, packaging has gone under tremendous shift. The way you regenerate food after it is frozen has transformed completely. So, frozen food would not taste different from fresh food when you and regenerate it. It tastes the same. Now you have these cold presses or HPP, hyper pressure machines, with shelf life of 28 days where you take fresh juice, cold press it without a single preservative. It's as fresh as freshly squeezed juice and stays for 28 days.
Amazing.
Yeah. So a lot of
during our childhood, we had never heard of anything like this.
Okay. So I'll probably share a sample with you. On a personal note, I'll share a sample with you. You should try.
Yeah, sure. Why not? And during our childhood days, all we had seen was, you go to a juice shop and the person freshly, runs the, right? They freshly prepare the juice, right? But something like this, what you're saying is good. It's good to know this.
Yeah. So what they do is in extreme vacuum, they squeeze out the juice.
Hmm.
There are no bacterial formation and they pack it immediately, right? So
Hmm.
and then again it's vacuum packed, so there is no bacterial formation or anything.
Hmm.
Shelf life is 28 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Shakti, yeah. So let's understand some of the challenges that you are scaling for the BlitzGro clients, right? So there must be what are the unique challenges that your clients are facing, and how do you help them overcome these hurdles, especially in the supply chain?
See, one of the challenges that our clients face, and I'll divide it into two parts, right? Restaurants and sub manufacturers both are. So when I talk from point of view of restaurants, procurement in itself is a major challenge for them. They imagine a normal restaurant. When I say normal, let's say a medium large size restaurant
Sure.
generally has around 400 to 500 vendors,
Okay.
right? To deal with 400 to 500 vendors, and these you keep getting new vendors to monitor their quality. If you are not able to get into contracts, to monitor the kind of quality that is being delivered to you, to watch the billings that are happening, to help, So this is a major time consuming factor for the management.
Hmm.
They want to utilize, or they should ideally be utilizing their time on developing and building the brands rather than choosing which vendor is better for my dal. If I know what kind of dal I want or what kind of chicken I want, I should be able to get that every time I want. I should not be dragging into deliverables, whether it has come on time, delivered on time, a lot of these things happen. And this is the reason people shifted to these, what you call middlemen or apps, where they can procure these things from one point delivery, right? You go to an app, you place all your orders, I'm going to get it on time, billing is going to be proper, and quality is going to be consistent. But what happens is, for these large restaurants, their minimum order quantities are sufficiently large enough for manufacturers to deliver them directly.
Correct.
So essentially, these middlemen or whatever, they end up paying for the product which they can procure directly. Right?
Okay.
If I order a truckload of anything, anyway, that's going to come from manufacturer.
Correct.
If I'm to a middleman, all I'm doing is giving that middleman a share. Delivery is anyways happening from manufacturers to the kitchen. And that's where we help them. With to large, because that's the clientele we are catering to. Large enterprise accounts. Where we help them connect with the client, and you get direct delivery because your order quantities are large enough. We help you with finding the right partners, and partners to guarantee you that this is the quality you are going to get. And we are also working. It's not just commoditized product. We generally work with what we in at least food industry call technical product. So a chutney is a technical product in food industry.
Okay.
Because in a chutney, how much coriander you are adding, how much garlic you are adding, curd you are adding, anadana you are adding, amount of this you are adding. What is the shelf life that's going to remain after that? How do you compare two chutneys? Which one's good, which one's not good? Why one is expensive? The amount of coriander can change rate of a chutney. The amount of coriander that's added. So then we help them sign NDAs with our clients. Making a chutney is a very simple process. You put all things together, grind it. But for a restaurant, that says consumes about 500 kgs of chutney every day. To procure that kind of material, right? Coriander, garlic, ginger, फिर बैठ के कोई उसको grind कर रहा है, everything. But if you can get, and they are very specific about the chutney they are using. They are not comfortable using, sharing the recipe.
Hmm.
So if you find a manufacturer who's ready to do it for you, they have entire processes. Unke liye they are, because now a manufacturer would be doing this chutney for 20 different clients. And they are ready to sign an NDA on your recipe. We'll make it as per your specification. We'll deliver it to you, and we are not going to share it with anybody else. So it helps them. So these are the products we are helping them. Not the commoditized rice or dal, which anyways traders would supply to you. But we are working on helping you onboard people for products which are you generally do and which are specific to your accounts, or your brand. Say you are manufacturing a certain kind of dim sum. Now dim sum sheet, like for every dim sum, you have to make dim sum sheet. But if you can get that similar dim sum sheet, right? All you have to do is fill it. So you get a dim sum sheet which is as per your specification, but is not made in your kitchen, right? So you don't require the space. You get fillings that as per your specification, supplied from somewhere else. Everything is standardized. All you have to do is you assemble all those things and cook it. Final cooking is as per you. So the space that you require, say more, now rentals are so high. People you need, you don't need to train people every day. You have shared with a third party who's doing it as per your specification. Hiring, training, everything is being taken care of by them. You are not worried about it. You maintain the system. So that's the thing we are working on. Right? And logistics part, since we are working with large players, logistics part is fairly sorted because suppliers arrange it for them. Right? It's MOQ driven delivery, MOQ led delivery, where suppliers take care of deliveries and they have their own supply chain. And because especially we are working with items that require cold chain, or at least, chilled deliveries.
Correct.
That is one major hurdle also, I would say. Correct. Because not everybody has a cold chain or chiller vehicle. And a lot of times, malpractices are also happening because people would turn off their reefer vehicles in between, save the cost and all that. So so we are working on that. And then another challenge that is like very Delhi specific is no entry. No entry. No entry is a very
correct. That's very Delhi specific. That's very, very Delhi specific.
So if there is a supplier who's based in Noida and restaurant is based in Gurgaon, और रेस्टोरेंट को 7 बजे चाहिए, ठीक है, लेकिन मैन्युफैक्चरर को 9 बजे निकालना पड़ेगा सुबह, क्योंकि प्रॉब्ली 11 बजे नो एंट्री लग जाएगी.
Correct.
Yeah, so that happens quite a lot. So we are working around that. Not yet a solution, but we are trying to see if we can have EVs which can deliver, which can enter through no parking, then get deliveries done. Because ये no entry is a big challenge for restaurants, because वो 4-5 hours का lag दे देता है. And that makes it everything urgent. That turns a normal delivery into urgent delivery.
Urgent delivery, correct.
Yes. कि आपको रात को 8 बजे चाहिए, पर आपके पास 8 बजे तो आ नहीं सकता क्योंकि नो एंट्री लगा हुआ है. नो एंट्री 5 बजे से लगा हुआ है. So delivery that should have been a normal, fairly regular delivery. 6 बजे भेजा, 8 बजे पहुंच गया. Turns into a urgent delivery at 4 o'clock. क्योंकि नो एंट्री 8:30 के बाद खुलेगा. Whatever the time. So so these are some of the challenges that are very unique to Delhi that you don't face in other cities.
Great. So, Shakti, consumer behavior, whether in grocery deliveries or food deliveries, is constantly evolving, right?
Yes.
Now, is it a part of your consulting advisory services or any other services where you kind of keep your customers ahead of the chain, right? Where you make them agile and responsive to these shifts in the consumer's mindset. Kuch aisa service bhi hai?
Yes. Obviously, we keep it's not just the studies that we are doing. For example, we do studies and research, trying to study what's happening, how the market is evolving, and we share it with our consumers. But since we also interact with a lot of industry people, that we see where the industry is going, so we constantly keep updating our clients, telling them this is what's going to happen, or probably this is where you should shift your focus to, and this is what you can do in terms of staying ahead of the curve, or this is a major trend change that's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we are working on that. So,
So, so
yeah.
does BlitzGro have a competition in the market, or are you the only one of your kind?
Currently, I would say we have a competition because we are also doing execution. See, there are a lot of consultancy that would help you in, telling and know how.
Yeah.
See, this is what's happening in the market, and this is what you should be doing. There are no execution-led companies that would not just tell you what's happening, will help you do it.
So that's the reason I asked you this question, because I couldn't figure out if there is a perfect competition for you guys. I mean, there may be competition in bits and pieces, but I don't think there's another company which is a mirror to mirror, reflection of yours.
No, we currently don't have. And yes, we were working with one of the government agencies, and they were like, probably we should get quote from other companies who can do it. And then they realized there's no similar company which they could get a quote from. Like, there's no somebody else able to do it exactly the way we were doing. And they were like, okay.
So that makes you a monopoly business, Shakti.
Hopefully, we'll be able to capitalize. I think it's first.
So that's the entrepreneur who has learned a lot from his past.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, first mover.
Very good, very good. That's a very good strategy, right? And I'm sure as you go on the way, and you don't have to detail it right now on the talk, but I'm sure that as you go on the way, you're going to build a lot of moat around your business, right? So that nobody else can simply come and copy it. And then this is the fun of being in an intellectual business. I can, even if I understand what you do, Shakti, I can't copy it because wo know-how hona bahut zaruri.
Correct. So, and moat is something that builds over a period of time. If I tell you, something, this is the moat I'm trying to build, probably it will work out, it won't work out. Even I'm not sure what exactly my moat is going to be. You constantly keep working on it, and eventually you develop a moat around your business. But people's business is something, you have to have the people. So, yeah, it's people-driven business. So, you get the best, you work with the best people. How it happens.
Lovely, Shakti. So let's step into about BlitzGro, right? So, and then let's start from the very beginning, in the sense, not just the founding of BlitzGro. That's something that we've discussed, right? At the very core of the business are its mission and vision, right?
Yeah.
So talk to us about the mission and the vision of BlitzGro.
Mission and vision of the BlitzGro, if I would say, what we are looking at is, help companies that are at number 4, 5, 6 down the order scale up. Helping them scale up. We are not looking at helping or working with number 1 companies that are already number 1 and 2. But if I can help a company that's number 7, if I can bring it up to number 2, or maybe from number 5 to number 1, that's where the real value is.
Correct.
Right? People whom others are not ready to help, or they are, charging too much to help startups. Since we have seen the struggle of startups, I know it from my heart, what a startup goes through. So the idea is to help these startups that probably does not have know-how or reach or funds and those sort of things, to help them grow and become market leaders and be in a dominant position, sort their products out, probably sometimes even define their customer strategy and segmentation. Because what happens, I've seen, and we are working with a couple of clients, they had a very good product, but their customer segment they were trying to reach was not correct. So just by changing the segment that they were targeting and helping them reach out to the correct market, so that's where we come in, right? Not only we were telling them this is the customer segment you should reach out to, but we also help them reach out to that customer segment directly. Like we were doing it sales for them. So we help them like within 3-4 months, we help them reach from, let's say, number 8 in market to number 3rd or 4th, probably tripling their revenues and volume delivering. just by changing their, not even I would say not a major change in strategy per se, but basically customer target, changing customer segment or the customer they were trying to approach and helping them reach out to that kind of customer. So we were able to add a lot of value. And these are the kind of clients where, who are willing to do something, who have passion, and they are looking to grow, but they are not able to find it within their means. So that's where we see BlitzGro helping people scale up.
Wonderful. So Shakti, when we talk of the QSR, so when we talk of the grocery business, right, there is a supply chain dynamic and there's a delivery dynamic, right? And you mentioned ONDC a couple of times during our interaction, right? So I have two parts to this question. One is that how do you help them get over and especially the startups, how do you help them get over the supply chain challenges? And then how do you help them leverage on ONDC? And is it only ONDC or you also help them leverage other delivery engines?
Okay. So ONDC, one very interesting thing about ONDC and delivers. On delivery side, D2C, they are picking up, but people are not yet very clear. Not everybody is clear on what ONDC in itself is.
Yes, it is still evolving.
Yeah, so people generally see it as a app, a Zomato-like app that would help them, get food or deliver food. Both things, If I am at home, I think ONDC. But ONDC is not a network or a platform. ONDC is a protocol like HTTP, hypertext protocol. So it allows any supplier to connect with ONDC through their own developed app or tech, right? The way you have email, like there is a Gmail and there is Gmail and Hotmail. You send from Hotmail, you get it delivered to Gmail. Correct. HTTP is facilitating it, right? Tech could be entirely different for Gmail and the way it has been developed for Hotmail.
Correct.
So that's what ONDC is facilitating. What they essentially want to do, let me give you an example. It's not, it's just an example, hypothetical example. So say I am a buyer who's on Flipkart, right? So currently what I'm seeing is sellers that are there on Flipkart. What ONDC is going to do is, if you put ONDC's layer, protocol layer in between, a Flipkart buyer would be able to see Amazon's sellers as well.
Seller.
And order food from Amazon sellers.
Got it.
Or whatever. So
got it.
It is trying to make it platform independent, network independent. So whoever onboards ONDC will be able. So if I onboard, say, Paytm पे ONDC मेरे को दिखा, मैं गया Paytm पे, it does not matter कि supplier Magic Pen के ऊपर है, मैं Paytm पे जाके हूँ उसका Magic Pen के through order कर पाऊंगा.
Got it.
So this is what ONDC is doing, and in between they have logistic partners. ONDC. So logistics में भी it's like not Zomato का खुद का delivery होगा, Flipkart का खुद का delivery होगा, like they have time. ONDC is again open at this place. जब वो logistics का जाएगा, it gets opened up for multiple logistic partners to choose. You get rates from separate partners. ये deliver हो जाएगा, I think, right? And then you can choose your logistic partners. So currently, it's in a developmental phase, so it's not very coherent, right? But once it develops and it becomes very coherent and smooth, so you have multiple options of choosing कि अच्छा delivery मेरे को इस जगह पे ये person smoother or cheaper delivery दे रहा है, I choose this partner for my delivery. Rather than going to X person, and ONDC doesn't charge any commission. ONDC itself, right? So that saves a lot of money for these cloud kitchens and QSR chains. There's a lot of money goes into commission, and something I would like for people to understand, or in general public, you would not push out. See, any food business, generally 30 to 40% cost is food. Right? Core food is 30 to 40%. There would be your salary, rentals, miscellaneous costs, marketing costs, right? And then you have a retain whatever remains is there. In QSRs and cloud kitchens, a huge portion of that, say even up to 30% goes to delivery partners. So now my 40% cost is food, 30% goes to delivery partner. So that's 70%. Now I have 30%, which I have to pay my rent, I have to pay my salary, I have to take care of miscellaneous expenses, which includes my marketing. And again, this marketing money is going to the platform because you have to market yourself on the platform. If you show at bottom of the list, you are not getting orders. So actually, your 40 to 45% money from an order goes to a marketing. And you are left with 50 to 55% play with, जिसके अंदर 30 से 40% food cost.
Correct.
So that's why companies are focusing a lot more on procurement because that's where they can squeeze the cost.
That's correct. EBITDA और कहाँ से निकालेंगे वो लोग?
EBITDA और कहाँ से निकालेंगे? So लोगों को, that's the reason a lot of QSR startups and cloud chains, their entry barriers are very small, right? आपने 8 lakh रुपए लगाया, you can start a cloud kitchen. What people are not able to calculate is the cost that they have to bear वो 8 lakh रुपए लगाने के बाद. They might not have resources. Or see, with larger chains, this commission goes down to 10% or 15%. That gives them breathing space. But for a new cloud kitchen that has just come up, आपने 30% cost दिया, फिर आपने 2% 3% GST भी दिया उसके ऊपर, whatever. So 30% आपने वो दे दिया. Then you have to pay marketing cost. आपका 45-50% चला गया, अब आपके पास बचता नहीं है, right? You are not, आपका procurement sorted नहीं है because you are small. You do not know where to procure from. आपके rentals कम हो जाते हैं, but it's still there, right? Cloud kitchen में ऐसा नहीं कि zero ही हो जाता है. It reduces significantly, but it is there. Staff cost reduces, लेकिन आपका cooking staff is still there, right? You're telling server का cost जो है आपका serving cost that gets elevated. So that's why we see a lot of QSRs and cloud kitchens floundering.
So this particular conversation has given me an idea of an impromptu question. I hadn't thought of this earlier, right? But it just came to my mind. So like in the stock market, right? We have micro caps, mid caps, small caps, mid caps, and then the large caps, right?
Correct.
Now, I'm assuming that the startups that come to you are typically micro or small caps, right? And obviously you would want them to grow to mid cap and large cap levels.
Correct.
Now, have any of your clients reached to a mid cap stage, or are they in the process of reaching there?
Currently, we are just 6 months old, 8 months old. BlitzGro is 8 months old. Yeah.
Okay. So, but do you see that potential in some of your clients, Shakti, that some of them can really? There are some ideas like that.
Yes, there are clients. We are working with the bakery chain, which is doing really good. So we help them customize and standardize their products. And a lot of cost saving. We are able to reduce their food cost. They were spending 50% on food. And
Okay.
If you are spending 50% on food and 30%, 35% on delivery, and you are left with 15% for your rent and salary.
And salary. खुद क्या कमाओगे?
Correct. So we were able to bring their food cost down to 35%.
खुद क्या कमाओगे और BlitzGro का फी बिल कैसे पे करोगे?
Correct.
तो BlitzGro को भी तो चाहिए.
Exactly. So we were able to help them. So yeah.
Good. And so Shakti, since you said that you've been around, I mean, BlitzGro has been around only for 6 months, right? 8 months. So one of my questions was that, are there any new services or markets that you're planning to explore? But I don't know if the question is valid. Would you like to share any?
No, currently, our own services are fairly new.
Correct. No, I understand that.
Yeah.
That. So for somebody,
couple of partners in BlitzGro. We are 3 co-founders together. Now we have gotten more people on board. So we
right.
So it's a people-oriented business. We are looking at getting the best people on board and see what we can develop. We are also working on developing our capabilities in terms of, let's say, right now we are now focused more on sourcing and sales. Capabilities are more towards sourcing and sales and not as much in R&D. Right? So we are looking to develop that capability and working on R&D part as well, where we can help our customers. If there's a client who wants to develop a new product, so we are trying to develop capabilities where we can help them with research and development part.
Fantastic.
New foods or so we are not. I would say we are consultancy that's more focused around food rather than say when I say marketing or social media, we do not currently as of now we are not doing it for any of the companies. We do not work in that domain. So we are more focused on working around food, getting the food, developing food, getting deliveries.
And I guess also the operational efficiencies, right? I mean, that's what you would want to do.
Correct.
I think that's where you are clearly focused, because what I could understand, you're helping them with supply chain. You're connecting them with the you're connecting the supplier with the customer, right? There's a lot of that stuff which is happening, and you also said that you are cutting down their costs.
SOPs, we are helping them develop SOPs.
Yes, you're helping them develop the SOPs. So actually, again, it's very wonderful to hear that, Shakti, because what you are trying to do is that you are trying to bring in a large scale dynamic into a small scale business, right? Which possibly your clients, and this is not demeaning your customers at all, but possibly they couldn't have done it on their own. I mean, you can't have everything running in a small business. So you need some.
We could have taken them time. As what we think of ourselves, what we think our clients should. We are probably a catalyst. Will help you grow fast. You'll get there. It's not that you'll not be able to get there, but we help you bring in those efficiencies a lot faster. We help you streamline and processes. That larger organizations are following, that larger companies do. And we get you the kind of people who will be able to do it for much cheaper.
Correct.
Because we are subsidizing these costs. So you can get kind of manpower to do that at a much lower cost in development.
Correct. So, Shakti, for somebody who's looking at starting a food or a grocery delivery setup, right? Apart from advising them to come to BlitzGro, what is the what is the advice that you would want to give them?
Advice, I would say, see, grocery delivery business is right now very competitive.
Correct.
Unless, I would say, rather than entering the market right now, if you want to get into grocery delivery, probably wait for another 1 year if you are looking specifically at delivery. Because margins in groceries are very, very low.
Margins in groceries are very, very low.
Low. If a basic grocery, it's there, the margins are very low and larger players are putting in a lot of money right now. They are ready to burn money, and it's difficult to compete with that kind of burn. But you'll not be able to handle the burn that they are doing. So rather than entering into a grocery business, you enter into value chain, the RTS products, you command pricing. It's not commoditized product. The margin structure is very low. That's where you start from. You start working around niches. You see your space. You figure out this is what we develop. This is what we deliver. And we have a margin over there so that you can handle and make money. You can handle the burn and make money. Abhi rice ke andar, if you are operating at 2%, let's say, 2 to 3% is what you make in commodity. You can't handle the burn because margins are not there. Where are you going to get the money from to deliver that commodity? But if you are working in value-added products, there are a lot of companies entering into value-added products. There are a lot of every restaurant or startup is moving into that direction. You figure out your niche. You enter So all these, what has happened? If you see, Zepto has come up with a lot of in-house brands. That's because if you are procuring it, margins are very low. If you can develop, and the in-house brands they have come up with are around RTE, RTS products. They are not grocery brands. So you won't see Zepto delivering their own rice because there is no margin, right? Rice is commoditized. But you'll see Zepto delivering their own, say, cut chicken. You are Zepto delivering their own, say, packaged juices and all those things. Because there you have margins. You have scope for margins. So if you are really looking into delivery itself, I would say that's the space you would want to start out with, or probably at least look at mix of it. Pure grocery is a very difficult sector to get into, right?
So, some of our viewers are also young entrepreneurial mind who are studying in universities right now. I hope that they get to see this and they get to hear this. This is very sage advice coming from somebody who's actually been there, done that, and really knows it all.
Yeah. So the thing is, people, I have seen people, a lot of young people on LinkedIn, they would message me, we have got a really good idea. So one of the things I would like to bring on the platform, I think it was discussed, but let me discuss it anyways. So I see a lot of young people, what they are trying to do is they see a lot of big money, huge money coming in, right? कि Zepto को इतना million मिला, Zomato को इतना million मिला, ये million मिला, and they are trying to randomly reach out to people. This is the idea I have, and this is young people. They are not able to realize the kind of valuation they are. This is $1 billion idea, and probably you should look at funding it and all this. So ideas, I think, are not $1 billion. It's execution that goes into them that makes them $1 billion ideas. A lot of people can have similar ideas, but young people should, before, reaching out to someone, what they should do is start something on their own. So at least get your MPV, even if not MPV, get experience into that field. So say I am thinking about starting vegetable delivery business, for example. ठीक है मैं एक ऑनलाइन ऐप डेवलप करूंगा I'll develop an app and I'll buy the best produce and deliver it to a very nice, very good, great idea. But 10 दिन सब्जी मंडी जाके 50 लोगों को just talk to say 50 of your or 10 of your family member will take your orders घर का सब्जी market में जाके and see कि market में हो क्या रहा है, market dynamics कैसे work कर रहा है, ऑर्डर लेने में क्या दिक्कत आती है मेरे को जब 10 फैमिली उस ऑर्डर को प्लेस कर रही हैं, राइट? किसी ने क्या मांगा है, किसी ने क्या मांगा है, मैं प्रोक्योर कैसे करूंगा उस चीज को? मेरा अगर प्रोक्योरमेंट ज्यादा हो गया तो उसका स्पेंड कहाँ होगा? एटलीस्ट गेट द बेसिक आइडियाज अबाउट दीस थिंग्स. I see a lot of college students have a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of good ideas. What they don't do is validation of their ideas. They are missing out on validating the idea in rawest form. Do it in rawest form, but do it. Because eventually that just enables a business. Zomato, right? Zomato का business delivery ही है, right? तो आप अगर बाइक पे जाके 4 रेस्टोरेंट्स का खाना लेके डिलीवर करोगे तो आपको उनका कोर प्रॉब्लम जो वो सॉल्व कर रहे हैं समझ आ जाएगा. टेक इज एनेबलिंग देम हाउ टू सॉल्व दोस प्रॉब्लम्स, बट प्रॉब्लम आपको 4 घर डिलीवर करने में समझ आएंगे बेसिक प्रॉब्लम. बाइक पे आपको उसके लिए टेक की जरूरत नहीं.
करेक्ट.
सिमिलरली विद ग्रोसरी डिलीवरी, 10 घर के आप ऑर्डर लीजिए, 10 घर से पता करिए, वो फिगर आउट कौन सा डिलीवरी वाला बेस्ट है, कहाँ से लूंगा, मेरे को डिलीवरी में कितना टाइम लगता है, राइडर का क्या प्रॉब्लम हुआ. Understand the core problems of the business. Once you know the core problem and you realize this is the problem I'm trying to solve, then you can develop your tech around it, your business around it. Currently, to figure out the core. क्या solve करना चाहते हैं.
Correct. Yeah. So now let's step into personal wisdom and life lessons, Shakti. Right. let's start with the work-life balance, right? Entrepreneurship is a 24/7 hour job, right? I don't know. I've not met many entrepreneurs who can really take long breaks. They do take breaks, but I don't know whether they take long breaks, right? What I want to check with you is that how you manage the demands of work with your personal life. How do you do that?
This was something, a trap I got into earlier with Batman, and that's when I said mental health is very important earlier. So I was so invested in it 24 hours. And since Batman was a night business, so you are completely operating at night, and during daytime you are thinking कि क्या करना है, and that वैसे ही 24 hour business होता है entrepreneurship, और उसमें तो बिल्कुल 24 hours हो गया था. You're correct. Right? So you are, so that seriously impacted my health.
Okay.
I put on a lot of weight. I put on about 27, 28 kgs of weight. I'm yet to shed it, by the way. So, but yeah, so what I've realized is it's important to at least, I won't say break weights, but daily, proper, these 8 hours, I'm not going to touch business.
Sure.
Don't get to that trap of, इस 8 hours में भी मेरे को कुछ कर. Urgencies can wait. Urgencies will keep coming up.
Correct.
Every day there's going to be something very urgent.
Correct.
But there's a mental break that you need to take. So I see a lot of successful people, telling, he work 24 hours. I get up in the morning at 8 o'clock. I start working immediately. I see a lot of posts around it. Yes, it happens. But that will also burn you out very quickly. Or hamper your relationships or in personal health. And these are as important and integral part of anybody's success.
Correct.
Your success is not just in terms of your venture or the money you are making. So being healthy in itself is a huge, huge success nowadays. Right?
Correct. Absolutely.
Don't forget, being healthy is successful. No, being healthy is very successful.
No, I think, Shakti, that's a very important thing which you said, that people tend to forget that being healthy is being successful. It's actually, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So, Shakti, tell us about your reading habits.
So I used to be a voracious reader. Like,
okay,
I was a massive reader at one time. During college days and school days, I would read 2 novels a day and all those sort of things. And I'm still a book holder. So nowadays I probably
2 novels a day, Shakti.
Yes, I was.
Wow.
Like 7, 8.
I have a lot of author friends, and I'm going to give all of them your number so that they can start telling you about their books.
Yes, I would love to. So nowadays, probably, I don't get as much time to read, and I have also, attention span has gone down, but I still love to read, and I think books are only thing that I impulse purchase. Apart from books, there's nothing else that I impulse purchase on. So if I am crossing a bookstore, I have to buy a book. I think I have 200-300 books that are yet to be read.
Okay. So, one of my friends is a publisher, Shakti, and I'm definitely going to give your number to him.
Sure. I would love to. One of my childhood dreams was to become a librarian. Yeah. Become one librarian at one of major libraries like National Library India or something like that. So that was one of my dreams. I absolutely love books. And unlike most people, I would say, I'm kind of more of a fiction reader. Generally, people are into, So I am a fiction and philosophy. I read self-help books a little, not a lot. So there are a few books I love. I read them, but generally it's more around philosophy and fiction that I read.
Fiction and philosophy. So I'm getting your drift here, Shakti.
Yeah.
Fiction, philosophy, food. So it's all F, everything with that F sound that appeals to you. And then now also fitness.
Yes. So that's something I need to get into.
So we will help you there as well. Okay. How about the detox from devices? I mean, we have pads, we have laptops, we have mobiles. Do you do anything to stay away from these devices for a few hours in a day?
It's very difficult. The detox from devices is very important, and I must admit that even I find it very difficult to detox from devices. But then my books help me to get away from them.
Correct. Correct. That's a common string that we've captured amongst all the people that we've interacted with, right? I mean, whether these are founders or CEOs or CMOs, they all tell us that books help them keep their sanity. Reading keeps them away from their devices, and that's a phenomenal detox that they have.
Yeah, it's great. You get into your world, whatever you like reading. You're able to enter a world where it says you're constantly occupied. You're not worried about what has happened. I think we are so used to social validation. I would say that every 2 minutes, 5 minutes, I need to check what's happening, whether somebody has said something, someone has said something about me, what's happening in the world. We kind of want to be constantly plugged into the world. We have, I would say, forgotten how to be ourselves. And I read somewhere, I don't know who said it. If you can't enjoy your own company, how do you expect somebody else to enjoy it?
Beautiful.
So, yeah, I read it somewhere and it struck me like, it's important, right? We are so sitting for 5 minutes, quietly 5 minutes by ourselves. We kind of lost that ability, including me. It's so important to be in touch and comfortable with yourself. Be in touch with yourself. Just be there, enjoying normal pleasures of life. We eat food, we are watching television, we are not enjoying food. We are sitting with someone, we are constantly on our home rather than enjoying companies. And if you look at it, sometimes, I was in a wedding recently, and these are my cousins. I met after 6-7 years. I'm there with them, sitting with them. I'm on my phone. I don't know when I'm going to meet them next, maybe in 2-3 years. So maybe entire lifetime, meet them 10 times, right? And at that time, rather than enjoying their company, talking to them, I am busy on my phone looking at some random.
Actually, I think yesterday or the day before there was a news item from Nikhil Kamath. He was also doing about this thing, that even if you try to stay away, the push notifications kind of attract you back to the device.
So that's one thing I do. I don't activate notifications on my device. So that's
Beautiful.
My way of doing it. I had developed a huge anxiety of missing out on things. And I was constantly anxious. So what I developed was now I've turned off all the notifications. So I'll probably check my phone every 15-20 minutes. Since I'm addicted, I can't push it for longer. At least for 15-20 minutes, I'm like.
Do you want us to edit this out, Shakti?
No, that's okay.
Wonderful. So let me come to the last two questions, Shakti. One is that what is your personal philosophy for success? Your key life lessons and personal philosophy for success. And then I'll come to the last question.
Okay, sure. See, for me, success means being happy in what you are. Just being happy is success in itself. You don't need any other thing to be successful. If you are happy, you are successful. So, and do whatever you do as long as you are happy. I think you are successful. You are taking care of your pet. So I've got this tattoo over here. It says Diogenes. Diogenes was a Greek philosopher.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm quite inspired by him, and I read his stories. So one of his famous stories is he was lying on ground, lying in the sun over there, and Alexander was crossing the path.
Yes. So
Alexander asked him, "What do you want? I shall give it to you." And he was like, "Let the sunlight come."
Yes, let the sunlight fall on me. Correct.
Let the sunlight fall on company. So yeah, so that's one of the things so I have been working, now I've stopped measuring my success in terms of, whether my venture is successful or not, whether, whether it's generating a certain amount. Of course, money is important. You need it to survive, so you need to get to a certain level. But I measure my success in terms of whether I'm happy doing this thing, whether if I go to work and I feel dreadful in the morning, waking up, I feel dreadful. Oh my God, I have to do this today. I would not want to do that. That's getting into a trap. So, yeah, that was again one of the reasons I quit my company and started the split with my own ventures. I have this, I don't have that constant mental pressure of I have to do this stepwise. I'm not a very organized stepwise person. I do things organically. So I keep a broad track of what's happening around things. But I don't do it in a very, very organized manner. I want like a little randomness in things.
Fantastic. So, Shakti, we are a land of 140 crore possibilities, right? What excites you most about the future living in this land?
So, I think, they are great for success in it. If we are talking about, again, I'll come back to it and you might say, it's not very entrepreneurial. Yes, success is there, there are countries developing this huge scope. We have one of the largest middle class in the world. Middle class,
Yes.
all are as large as Germany itself. Already it's as large, and we are growing at a rapid clip. So, in terms of monetary and general success, there are huge opportunities available. We can grow. But what also excites me being in India is that we live in a culture. It helps us grow as a person. You get to live with your family. You get to, even in a client relationship, our relationships are personally driven. They are not exactly professional relationships. That's something I like about India quite a lot. We talk about professional relationships, and I understand their importance. But I also like the fact that, our relationships are not personal and not just professional relationships. You make friends with your clients. You become your client's friends. Culture is such, it helps you being human in a world that's going towards AI. Then you getting AI. So I think staying human is a huge positive. So yes, I really like that about India. I think that's where, obviously we are going to grow. So there are growth opportunities. But at the same time, we are going personally, yes. Not just in professional sense. Professionally, yes, opportunities are immense. I think we are going to be one of the fastest. We are already one of the fastest.
Correct.
AI is going to take us into a completely new direction. That's what I think. This tech revolution helped us leapfrog quite a bit.
Correct.
AI push us further.
Correct. So, Shakti, thank you so much for giving us so much of your time. And I think I must also thank Mahima for bringing both of us together.
Thank you, Nit. Pleasure. And yes, thank you to Mahima as well. She was the one who connected us.
Correct.
It was absolutely pleasure. An absolute pleasure talking. Wonderful. Thank you. You helped me, probably structure my own thoughts and realize what I was thinking. So, yeah, that was a great.
Thank you so much. We take the compliment, Shakti.